I'm so mad, bro. No, because I was recording this video, so now I'm gonna do everything again. But the thing is, I was recording this video, right? And none of the audio recorded, so I had to do everything over again. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel today. My name is Sus, and welcome back to another video. Do y'all ever just rewatch anime just for the sake of it? Well, I have. A lot of us has watched animes over and over again just because of the premise, or if we just want to remember something, we just watch it again. Sometimes I will include animes that we would touch once and probably never touch again. So I just had that this week. And this week I decided to pick up an anime-ish. I watched it before when I was younger, but I decided to rewatch it just for the shits and giggles, you know? Whatever, just whatever. And when I watched it, I just questioned my well-being. Because this anime was wilder than I remembered. And the anime I want to talk about today is Junjou romantica, guys. Now, I have mentioned Junjou romantica several times before. Like in other videos, I have mentioned it a couple times. But I decided, because I was bored this week, and then I had like a video already watched for this Friday. So I was like, oh, let me rewatch this. I don't remember much about the show. And I mentioned it before, and it's like considered one of the classics in the yaoi community. So like, let me go pick it up and just rewatch it. Maybe I'll do a fun video, but bro, why is this anime wild? I don't remember it being this wild, bro. Like, it was just one of those things that I had like a revelation. I was like, oh shit. Everything that happened in this anime was not okay, bro. Like, and I'm gonna talk about it in this video. So if you guys don't already know, Junjou romantica is a BL story, and it follows the story of 3 particular couples. And the first couple I'm gonna talk about is basically the main couple of the story. Is like the most shown, what started the show to begin with. Most people tune in for this particular couple other than the other 2, but basically in this couple, I'm gonna call it main couple and the other one's side couple, so ease in the confusion or make you guys more confused, let's see. But the main couple I'm going to talk about, couple number 1, is the story of Misaki and Usagi. I can say their names, okay? Because they say their names so many times in like this story that it's just imprinted in my mind. But basically Misaki is gonna be a college student, and then he basically runs home to talk about his brother about like colleges he wants to apply, and he kind of runs into Usagi, which is his older brother's best friend, and he has an unacquitted love for Misaki's older brother, but he never like confessed, because he's like, it's better just to be his best friend than no friend and not be part of his life. And Misaki's just like, you know, he got a girl, right? He's like, no, I don't care, as long as it like I can still be with him, it's fine. They kind of have like a rough start to begin with and stuff, but like Usagi is like a very known author in this world and all that shit, and he's super intelligent. So one day he asked, like, Misaki asked him, hey, can you tutor me so I can get to this college, because I just want to get in the college which my brother could never do. And so they basically end up tutoring him, and Misaki starts getting really close to Usagi for whatever reason, because if it was me, I wouldn't get close to my tutor. Or if I was the tutor, I'd probably do like side conversations. But the way these guys were close, but then again, he was best friends with the brother, so I guess that kind of makes sense why they were close. But if it was still me, I wouldn't be super close that they got. And so like eventually in a couple months they got close, and he got accepted to the university he was trying to pursue. And the same day that he gets accepted to the university, the older brother announces his engagement to the girl, and Usagi got like, he got rejected basically, because it's like there's no hope for him anymore. And so basically Misaki gets like mad for his case and starts crying for him, all that shit. And because when he started crying and stuff, basically Usagi had a realization that this is the guy for me, and so proceeds to kiss him and saying thank you so much, and cries on his shoulder. This happens in the first episode, by the way. I think it is a attention grabber because it's really just out there. But yeah, after that whole spiel and all that shit, One thing led to another. The older brother has to get transferred for his job in another part in Japan, and Misaki Usagi basically lives in together. And that's like the whole premise of the story for them, that Usagi and Misaki becomes a couple regardless of their 10-year age gap. So that's like the whole premise of like the first main couple. That is the main couple that is shown throughout the whole series. Like they are relatively more shown than the other two, regardless of their 10-year age gap, guys. They have 10 years apart. And another thing I want to say beforehand is that this anime has age gaps. There's like, you get an age gap and you get an age gap. Everyone gets an age gap in this goddamn anime. I don't know what it is, because in the sister show that I particularly love from the same author and stuff, doesn't have that much prominent age gap than compared to this shit. So yeah, and that's the disclaimer thing, that a lot of all the couples have age gap for whatever reason. Maybe that's just the author's niche back then. But yeah, this has a 10-year age gap. That's the first couple. The second couple has the least amount of age, like years apart from each other. That's a 4 years age gap. And so the second couple is basically, you have to research this because it gets kind of confusing when the second couple gets introduced. But basically, the childhood friend of Usagi, his name's Hiro. They call him Hiro in the story, so I'm gonna call him Hiro. His real name is like Hiyuki or some shit like that. He had unacquainted love feelings for Usagi. They slept together, but at the time of this story, where he's getting introduced in the story, he's still in love with the older brother. You have to research that shit because it's a big ass jump. And so he's like rejected. He's in the park by himself crying, basically saying, oh, he will never love me and shit. And then he runs into his future boyfriend that was an orphan, and he's just there, and he's like, oh, I feel bad for you, and then follows him around like a puppy. And that's how their story starts. It's like, okay, that's all I had to do is cry in a park, and some hunk will come after me. I'm gonna punch myself in the nose for that shit. But yeah, that's the premise of the second couple. By the way, the second couple is like my least favorite couple in the story, just because they have like problems that can be overly like resolved if they just talk to each other. And they also makes it prominent in the story, like whenever time they're in the screen, like they're talking about their story, they always try to emphasize like they have a 4 year age gap, and I'm like, okay, 4 years is nothing compared to 10, okay? And compared to the other couple that is 17 years old. And I'm gonna get to that one soon, but 17 and 10 is, bro, 4 years is nothing compared to these other couples. And they try to make it like a big deal, like, oh, you're just a brat, you're just a kid. It's like, bro, it's just 4 years, okay? You don't remember, like, I feel like age gap, until you reach a point that you can remember stuff, I don't feel like it's an issue. Like, if you're like a few years, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, pushing it, I don't remember anything before like 5 years old. So like, if I just start forming memories and I start getting a consciousness, then you're fine. Like, if it's just 4 years, it's nothing. When you get to a point of like, oh, I was in high school when you were in diapers, then that's questionable right there. But I don't. And also another thing with this couple is that they, like, the main character Hiro in the second couple, side couple, basically there was one point in time that they were dating for like 6 years, because again, the time frame of this couple is like very wish-washy. Is like out, it's like super all like you kind of accept it because they don't like emphasize when the couple become a couple ish. And like at one point in the story they said they've been dating for like 6 years and stuff, and then here like the guy, his like partner, left to America and didn't say anything for a year, and he just came back to the country, and I'm like, you left me here alone for a year and didn't tell me shit. And then we found out it was like a miscommunication and shit like that later, but it's still, I wouldn't flip my shit. But yeah, that's like my least favorite couple, and I should not be saying that, but it's just like there was like very much characteristics I didn't like between both characters, and that's why I was like, ugh. The third and final side couple I'm gonna talk about, This would have more interesting plot points than the second couple, but due to the 17-year age gap that this couple had, I just do not like the side couples in these stories. I just focus on the main one, and that one's still questionable, but at least Misaki is like 18 years at the beginning of the story, and that's still pushing it. But in the third side, like the third couple, the side couple, the guy confessed to the guy when he was 16, and the other guy was 35. Whoop whoop, that's the sound of the police. Whoop whoop, that's the author. What you doing? I don't care if the illegal age of consent in Japan is 14. No. Like, so the premise of the third couple, I'm gonna do it as quickly as possible because I feel like I'm on the watch list right now. So the guy gets engaged to the sister of the guy that confessed to him. Yeah, it's confusing. So basically, the guy gets engaged. He breaks off the engagement because it didn't work out with the minor's older sister, and the minor decides to declare his love for him because he thought their meeting for the first time was fate, and he's been in love with him ever since. And that is questionable. It's very questionable. And they decided to go out, but and then I be hearing like that when I was researching this anime, because like you had to research some parts because the anime gets confusing at one point. They were like, oh, but he waited until he turns 18 to lay hands on him. I don't give a rat's man's a minor. And this, regardless of the romance aspect of the story, I do find like the main 35-year-old story to be particularly interesting, because first he gets married to a girl, whatever, they didn't work out because the girl cheated, whatever, left, and then you got her younger brother confessing to him. But like then we found out more about the main, like that guy, that he was in love with his older teacher, but the older teacher died from some illness, and then he can't really recover from love, and so that's why he never loves anyone. It's just a whole thing. And I thought that was intriguing until you add that this guy is 16 years old, and yeah, they do have a time skip, and I will get into that. They do have a time skip, and that he does turn 18 at one point in the story, and then everyone does a 2-year age gap, like age skip or shit like that, and that's when he lays hands and shit. But it's still 17 years. I don't know about that one, Chief. At least for me, I don't know about that one. Now, this anime has 3 seasons, but I'm going to talk about the seasons because they are kind of not complex, but the art style and everything changed within season 2 to season 3. So basically, season 1 and 2 came out with a particular company. I think it's called Studio Dean, because I've seen that name tossed around in like the opening credits. But I'm assuming Studio Dean was in charge of season 1 and season 2. And their art style and everything was particular. It came out like in 2008. If I didn't mention that already, it came out in 2008. So again, back then the mechanics and the all that shit, all the art was very different. So a lot of things artistically was very questionable. For me, one of the prominent things that annoyed me with season 1 and 2 was the chins. The chins annoyed the shit out of me. I don't know what it is. Maybe it was like, again, the mangaka's art style. It's just like every time that the ukis was on the screen, they have very sharp chins. Like it's very pointy, and the chins just like distracted me. But then the tops, the semes, will have the squariest chin I have ever seen in my life, and it's just like, ugh. And then like the proportion for the body. Like it'd be like the main character, for example, Usagi's hands would be super huge. It'd be like massive at times, and it was just ugh. But then another company picked it up 7 years later. And season 3, that's 2015 now. Season 3 is made from a whole different company, so everything's now different. Everything's now artistically better. But one thing I would complain about season 3 is that since they changed the features so drastically, some of the couples didn't look like them anymore. Like the third couple in particular, the top guy, the guy that got married and all that shit, he did not look rugged anymore. He just looked super softer in features, and he didn't look like he used to look. It's like super weird. Now, Junjou romantica, when I found the translation for it, it says pure love. Is it pure though? Is it pure? I just had to leave that comment in there. Is it pure? Now, I do say a lot of the couples' problems in this stories, and it would not be one couple or two, it's all the couples, that if they were just to communicate, all their problems would fish itself. I don't know why miscommunication, especially a romance anime, is such a big issue. But if all the couples' problems would have been resolved if they just talk it out. And I felt like that's what the author always tried to do. Is like they just try to talk it out. And then another thing with season 1 and 2 and season 3. In season 1 and season 2, it was more prominent that the side couples were like more shown and stuff like that. They will have like a couple episodes. Not as much as like the main couple, Misaki, Usagi. Like they were like Usaki and Misaki will have like 7 episodes, and then the other two will have like 2 or 3. And season 3, they kind of don't exist in the story anymore. Like they will have like 1 episode each, and then after that, like because it's 12 episodes, it's like Usagi, Misaki, like it'd be like that, and they will have like 1 random episode where they're there, and then like they never shown again. And it was like, okay, is it not prominent anymore? Did the author change their style? Like what's going on? It's like because you get invested at one point with each character, and then all of a sudden they just disappear from the face of the earth. It's like, what the hell is happening? Now that's just the whole that's the whole plot of the story and shit like that. Now my thoughts about it is that it's super wild. Now just watching this again after, I don't know when I watched it to begin with. I know I watched it at one point when watching anime. I did not remember it being this wild. I did not remember everyone having a 17-year age gap. I did not remember all this shit. It was just, when we remember shit like this, it's just like, oh shit, that actually happened. It was just one of those things that was super wild to me, just rewatching it again. And I just thought, wow, this is one of the animes in the yaoi community that is like deemed one of the classics, because it was just one of those first anime. It was one of the first animes, in my opinion, in the yaoi community that became popularized. Because we had Gravitation, but Gravitation was not super popular. We had other ones like Tightrope, we had other ones like Hybrid Child, that from the same author again, but they didn't reach the amount of popularity like this one. This one had seasons, this one had voice like openings and all that shit. But other yaois back then was not super like popularized. They were like more than OVAs. This is like, I think, one of the first one. That's why I say it's one of the classes of the yaoi community. It's not like yaoi now that if they pick up a good story like Twilight Out of Focus or Given or Saki Mayano, I think that's how you say his name. Like that they if the story is good, they get popularized and they get a series and stuff. Back then, yaoi used to just be mostly OVAs. And this is like one of the first ones that got a whole series. I don't think Gravitation, but Gravitation was that's concerning itself, that one. But it's like one of those things that this is, I say it's a classic again. I know I'm repeating myself. I sound like a broken record. But then when you rewatch it, like especially now as an adult, and it's like, oh, am I on the watch list now? Like, it's not super bad compared to like other animes, like, oh, the one I have never seen and I'm never gonna pick up in my life is like my little sister can't be this cute, or the freaking My Happy Sugar Life that I'm never gonna touch again. Fuck the anime. But it's just like one of those things that is like, this is not okay. Let me just say, the author did a spin-off show in the same universe as Junjou romantica. I'm probably going to talk about that anime probably next week, because I prefer that anime way more than Junjou romantica. because I don't know what it is. It has a very particular charm to it. And also there's no super crazy age gap couples. Like, I think the age gap there is like 9 years, and the guy's already 21 and the guy's 30. So it's not super prominent compared to freaking 16 and 35. So it's not super like issue in my eyes, because again, this guy has become an adult for quite a bit of time and he decides to pursue an older man. But I feel like the sister show has more of a charm than this one, and I think I might talk about it next week coming up. But I don't know what it is with this one. Maybe like the author was experimenting, because she has a lot of works. That author in particular has a lot of works with BL, like Hybrid Child I mentioned just earlier, Junjou Romantica, and then the one I'm gonna talk about next week. This anime, I'm just gonna say I have no comment towards it. That's because I had to give back the time of when it released and stuff. As of right now, if I were to pick it up now, just no contact, black eyes, I think I would have dropped it when I saw 17 years. And then also the whole premise is sometimes toxic. Like, a guy would just be screaming at the person, and the person would not stop. But I did enjoy the gags of the show, though. When I was watching the whole thing, I was like enjoying the gags, because like the comedy there is really good. Like, because I don't know what it is, like the author did a really good job like creating faces of like disgust. I don't know, it's like the jokes in this was very funny, and I did appreciate that, but everything else was just What are your thoughts on Junjou Romantica? I have no words, really. Maybe that's why I didn't primarily like I know I watched it when I was a kid, but I didn't like it as much as the sister show. So this is probably why I didn't like it as much as the sister show, because yeah, it's just one of those things. It's like, ugh. But yeah, what are your thoughts on this video or Junjou Romantica? Like, have you guys watched it? How you guys felt? Because I don't know how to feel about this one. It really was, and maybe it's because of the 17-year couple. Like, it's because I read, it's like, oh, he didn't touch him until he was 18 years old. That doesn't matter. You going out with a 16-year-old. That really doesn't matter to me. Like, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. So yeah, I don't really know how to feel about this one. I do say the openings though, I felt like the first 2 seasons had the same person singing it, and I felt like they were so done. Because they were singing like the same opening but with different subtext, and I thought that was super funny. Like, it was, because like the first one is like very ironic because I heard it so many times when I was younger, and the second one I barely listened to it. But it's like it's like the same person singing, like, but with different words. It's like the same song and everything, but with different lyrics. And then the third opening, I will say I like that way better, just because it's like more adverse than the other two. Because the first 2 literally, it just looked like the same opening but just cut in 2. But the third one I really did enjoy. But other than that, I really don't have anything to say other than it's just wild. This anime was super wild. But yeah, let me know in the comments below what's your thoughts on Junjou Romantica, question mark, I guess. I don't know. This video is weird. I don't know how to feel about it. It was just one of those things that I told you, I picked it up and I was like, let me rewatch it, like, let me get the feels, and then I came out like, am I on the watch list? Like, I don't know. I really don't know. This video, I don't know. And I'm gonna post it, like, I don't know. There's gonna be a bunch of confusion. But yeah, if you have stick to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching. I would like to apologize for all this shit. But yeah, thank you so much if you watched the video. My name is Celis, and I hope to see you on the next one. Bye, guys.